Hey there, Evan with Denver Interior and Doors here at a project in Lakewood. We're doing for one of our remodeling partners, Four Brothers Contracting. They do large scale remodeling, it's great. Love working with them. We do their trim and cabinets and interior doors and finished carpentry for them. So we did do this guardrail system, I should say. It's a horizontal rod railing system. So we use these horizontal rods versus vertical iron balusters. Just get, a modern popular look right now. A lot of homeowners, really like this look. So now we're back here and putting the wall mount handrail on again. So there's gonna be a wall mounted grab rail going down the stairs, and we need to modify it just a little bit so that it clears the floor nosing. This part that sticks out a little further than we'd planned. So we're gonna modify that one and put it on there today. So I'm gonna test it, see how much we need to add to it to make it function. So as we can see, it's hitting this nosing here, and the ends of that are not where we need them to be. So we're gonna wanna get equidistant off the wall here. And we can see where that's 1.5 inches off of that. That's 3/4 there. So we need to add 3/4 to our returns. So I cut these are standoffs. So because we have to move that wall mount handrail out further into the stairwell to clear the nosing and recut our returns into the post there. So I made these standoffs quick last night just with a hole saw. Drilled them out, and those are the cutouts, and then I started to paint them black, and they just need a little touch up once they're on there, but cut them shorter, probably. We're extending that 3/4. I'll probably want to leave these 3/4 at least here, and then they'll go behind these, and they actually will not. Now that I'm looking at them, they're too small. So we are adapting and improvising and overcoming as we do. So we're gonna be remaking our standoffs out of new material. We're gonna paint this black. So they don't look too bad. They'll kind of match up behind our handrail brackets. Rail here, that's on the left side. I believe that's the top. They're both actually symmetrical, but yeah, we want that to be the top side. So I'm gonna start here with cutting off this return. Nails inside of there, but this saw blade gets through them pretty good. The saw blade went through about 40 metal balusters yesterday, so it's still hanging in there actually surprisingly well. With anything stain grade or anything, we would use a new fresh saw blade, and yeah, something nice and sharp. A little bit bigger saw would be better for this operation too. Like I said, I do have the light set up today. The bigger saw with the full table and rollouts and everything would be ideal here, but we get it done no matter what, regardless. Cut a couple of returns here. This is actually white oak. This is different than the red oak we were working with before. So this is white oak. I think white oak's a little bit harder, more of a closed grain than red oak. I think it's a little prettier. This is actually pretty clear white oak. Here's the red oak from earlier. You can kind of see the difference. This one's unfinished, so it doesn't have a stain on it, this white oak here, yet, as the rail does have the stain on it already, but yeah, that's the difference in red and white oak. I'm gonna make them 4, and I actually wanna go I'm gonna go a full 5 inches will give us 1/4. We'll try 5 1/4. That'll give us a half inch of space off the nosing, hopefully. Yeah, you can see some of the why we inspect the wood kind of before we install it. Obviously, this would be the top of the rail. It's very nice and clear, and then this would be the bottom where they have some finger joints and things like that, a little bit, you know, discrepancy in the grain. So make sure we keep this our top side, even with the returns. And you can see pretty clean cut there. So our top one can definitely go on. Again, we're using this CA glue, this 2P10 contact adhesive glue. So it's basically just super glue. When you add this accelerator to it, it hardens very quickly. And I should have had my Collins Tool Company clamps handy, but since I don't, we're gonna use the old hand pressure method. And that glue's already getting hard. You can feel it on the top there, sticking to my fingers. Hardens on that joint pretty good there. Here's our handy dandy piece of sandpaper from the last job. We can kind of sand that joint nice and clean. Get all that glue off of there. I like to allow the dust to sit in that joint just a little bit on that glue. Helps it when we're staining it to make it kind of take stain a little better. Clean that corner up so it's not so sharp. Sharp edges, one thing is sharp edges always tend to break easier if you have like real sharp corners on stuff. We always like to break the edges of anything that's kind of sharp. We don't necessarily have to go with a full round over like this has. This is nice for the grab rail obviously, but even just breaking those sharp edges a little bit helps. And that looks pretty good. And that's our top. I'm gonna temporarily affix the bottom. I guess we will get nail guns out. This is a Milwaukee battery nailer, 18 gauge. They're the best battery nailers I've found. You can buy some of the other, even though I'm a DeWalt tool guy, mostly the Milwaukee nailers tend to shoot better. So I have an adapter from Amazon that now accepts DeWalt batteries onto the Milwaukee gun, because I don't want to own Milwaukee batteries, but there's that. And then we'll just shoot this in temporarily just for test fit. And that didn't go too well. We can also use our Collins clamps for this, if we can access them. Actually, it appears the length should be okay. I already had my kind of layout on the wall from when I was originally here. Just double checking that. 32 off of that nosing. So I use this bit. This is a centering punch bit. So it just has this mechanism that has a spring. It helps to kind of just align up in the center of these holes when we're drilling them. Then I had to come back through with the 1/8 inch bit just to ream them out a little bit so it doesn't break this. So those are on there nice now. And we got clearance on the nosing now. That's really nice, actually. That's, couldn't ask for more than that. So I'm gonna get this set temporarily where I want it and then reattach that piece afterwards. This is where another tool will come in handy if we use our big brains and get a clamp. A real carpenter typically wears bags or an apron, too, so they have all their tools and things they need on them. And I do, it's been a long time since I've worn the apron. I do have a nice one, but I don't typically bring it. And as you can tell, I'm a little scattered on what I have on me. I kind of think bags get bulky and stuff like that. I used to be a rule, if you didn't have your tools on you and your apron and your bags, you weren't working, you weren't on the clock, so. So that's a trim head screw there. I may end up putting a bigger one in it there, but a lot of times within the finished carpentry world, we'll use these little trim head screws. They're a T10 bit. So they just, a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger than a nail, but really good holding power. All right, now we got our bottom location marked. We can take this out. Also, hearing protection is really important. Eye protection is really important. I forgot about all these things. I had my safety squints on. Activator. These are just the clips that go on the bottom here.
You're the champion of the world.
Thanks for watching, guys. This another handrail system, another wall mount grab rail. So I think it looks really good. It turned out not too bad with the standoffs down there. A lot of rail to grab onto and finger clearance now. So I think it went really well. So we always run into some challenges sometimes, but we always adapt, improvise, and overcome, as they say. So we find good solutions to make things work when we run into challenges. So this was another example. Thanks.